Hello there guys, it's me, Harry, and I'm narrating this Christmas Eve special edition of the Big Balloon Parade. This one is actually going to be a bit shorter, but it's still our favourite parade that we all know and love. Anyways, let's begin, which we already have. So as per usual, we have our robot float, followed on with the giant golden stars. Big Balloon Parade. Pretty cool, don't you think? And the first of our giant balloons, there are no new balloons this time, but we do have some of your old favourites, and well, here is our first one, and it happens to be a character who we haven't seen for a little while. It's Buddy from the popular 2003 movie Elf, furnished by Warner Brothers. Yep, Buddy has returned, depicted in his design from the feature-length special Elf Buddy's Magical Christmas. And he is actually going to have a magical Christmas indeed. Just look at that smile. If you can see here is our little small Star Wars themed float with some characters on there. And two C-3POs for some reason. Don't know why, but somehow he managed to make himself look like a shapeshifter. Yeah, you get the idea. And now, appearing for his second parade now, is Wild Thing, furnished by HarperCollins Children's Books. So, most of you know already how this timeless children's classic of a book goes out. Little Max gets sent to his room without supper, and he imagines that his room is a forest where the wild things are, like this one right here. He's got giant claws to scrape you with. He's got giant horns, and sometimes he doesn't look all that menacing, but just be careful. There are wild things wherever you go. Here's a mini float featuring all your favourite Simpsons characters. Well, only 4 of them. Grandpa, Bart, Marge, and of course Homer are all on this delightful looking float. And the next float is something really square, and beware, it's SpongeBob and Gary, furnished of course by Nickelodeon. What more could you ask about these two characters? SpongeBob is one of the most popular characters in the world, and here, with his pet snail Gary, are here to promote the new show Camp Coral, coming to Nickelodeon very soon in 2021, which is next year, to be honest with you. And here they're flying high as the only square balloons in the parade. Not forgetting on the ground, SpongeBob Patrick for the very first time ever, well, just his head swimming in the boat, and now Sandy has her head thingy on. Yay! Now the duo trio is complete. Our next balloon, or well, next float in our parade is Blue's Clues and You, featuring a giant blue float, furnished by Nickelodeon as well. Here, baseball player is on the float this time, with giant blue balloon. And now, here comes the Clone Trooper float, with all these different clone troopers, and maybe a bit of stormtroopers. What more could you ask for? Well, it could be anything really. Well, that's until you get to our next giant character, Abby Cadabby. This 3-year-old fairy in training, furnished by Sesame Workshop, appearing in a second parade now, the same with Wild Thing. So as you know, Abby Cadabby is a 3-year-old fairy in training who lives on Sesame Street. She has a step-brother, and she goes to flying fairy school. Just because, as I said, she's a fairy in training, and if you can tell right up here, she has her giant wand, ready to magic anything she needs to, whether they want to or not. Next up in the parade, the group of police force. on a really squeaky cart. And for some reason the Brickster's trapped as well. He can't move. So he'll just lay on there until he can be free again. I don't want to hear that anymore. And then the rest of the police force are on snowmobiles. And there they are, gone. Next up is this Christmas tree that's actually all burnt up. Everything's on fire, and can the fire force save it? Well, they're actually playing as a band for some reason, and the Big Red Shoe Car's also got firefighters on as well. Like it was supposed to be for that or something. No idea, but they're going for it anyway. Tootie 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 tootie, lolly lolly la, lolly lolly lolly. And now I'm driving this as well. Yeah. Oh, and the other firefighters are just sitting there as well. Oh, yes. How clever. I guess. Our next giant balloon, right up in the sky, is a familiar face we all know and love. An icon of our pop culture. It's Ronald McDonald, furnished by the McDonald's Corporation. Once again, here it is. Yellow custom tuxedo with a white shirt, an undershirt underneath with a stripy t-shirt underneath as well, and giant big red shoes, similar to his Big Red Shoe Car, which for some reason he doesn't even drive. But still, Ronald's one of our favourite characters in the parade, and we probably would be able, and if he was gone, then he'd be gone in our parade too. Well, and our next float, heading up to the scene, is the Powerpuff Girls. And now they've got a 3-in-1 float with their usual little toys, but this time it's a 3-in-1 float, as I said. How weird. Blossom, Bubbles and Buttercup are now this time on the front of the float near the smartphone. There's the Opti, and then there's the giant Mega Blaster Bot. Who's got the power? We've got the power. Who has a grin that's as grinny as what you'd think? Well, you've got Mr. Potato Head, furnished by Hasbro. Here, depicted in his healthy design, where he wants to try and keep children as fit and active as possible. And here he is, he's holding his giant water bottle. He's got a, well, all sorts of other things included as well. And of course, flying high as per usual, right near some other balloon favourites like Pikachu, Curious George, and Hello Kitty. And don't forget those awesome blue trainers. Well, I think he really wants to have a good spin right now. Now, here comes another giant float. Well, it's a giant aeroplane with the prince riding on it. Yep, a good old prince riding on a giant aeroplane that normally belongs to Brickster. Yay! And it can fly too. Now, if you've seen already when we were talking about Mr. Potato Head, you've already seen the next few balloons already, but of course we have to describe them, so here they are. Anyway, who do you think's next? Oh yes, a character who's riding a giant Yellow Kitty aeroplane, and used to be the only animated character in the parade because her propeller on her plane spun. And that's Sanrio's Hello Kitty. She's depicted with her red bow and her cutesy Japanese appearance that we are all familiar with. And as what she says, and alongside her other Sanrio friends, you can never have too many friends altogether. You can have as many as you want. And the next up is the giant robot float with a green army man on there, the first time ever. Yep, Sarge is trying to search for something with his binoculars. And how is this moving? Because there's no driver on board. It is a float, so yeah. This is one weird bot. What else would you think it would be? Like something mysterious? And then here's a character who we haven't seen for a little while, but he's back in the parade. And that is Universal's Curious George, furnished by Universal Pictures. So Curious George has a TV series and has already had 4 different movies made, and a new 5th one that's coming out soon. And here he's depicted wearing a giant scarf and a giant green, yellow and red hat. And all you can say is for anything that you want this lovely, curious monkey to explore. What more could you ask for? Skeleton and an astronaut are racing around. What are they even doing? Something? Well, looks like we'll never know. But we could honestly guess that they're having fun. The astronaut probably flew away, but the skeleton wins. Superman's on his supercar, driving around, probably still waiting for Bat Guy or Batman. For the second time, we have our giant snowman, snow pal, snow friend, Balloonicle. As we said when when the Disney Balloonicles pass by, Balloonicles can move around on their own and they don't need any straws to be held up. All they can do is just move around freely. And this little snow friend definitely knows how to do it. Now here comes another float. It's a giant spaceship with Dave and Alex on there. They were on the Disney float last time, but now they're on this giant float. How awesome. Here's a yellow creature we're all familiar with, and he's appeared in every single IME Big Balloon Parade, and that is Pikachu. This time he's wearing a green scarf and Pichu's on his leg, holding Snowman Pikachu. So overall we have 3 Pikachus in general. It's nice to see him again and he's here once again to promote Pokemon Sword and Shield, Pokemon Journeys the series, the trading card game, and all other things that make you happy to be a Pokemon master. Or unhappy, but who knows. Now, here come the ATO Adventures crew. They still haven't been on a new mission yet, but hopefully they will be soon. They just here in the Big Balloon Parade, appearing in there. And there they are, gone. And here is one of our 2 novelties, because we decided to reduce novelties this time, and it's a red, white and green candy cane. Something really sweet that you'd really love to have in your thingy. And then here comes Spidey and the crew. Well, as I said before, they decided to get rid of the Spider-Man balloon because he was wearing out. So now Spider-Man and his friends are all just going along on the singular float on their own. And here comes some of my friends sitting on what normally is the Disney wagon. James, Erin and Ben. Here they are. Travelling along on the ground is Prince Dauntless, and high up in the sky is Princess Winifred from the show Once Upon a Mattress, once again appearing together as a balloon and balloonicle combo for the second time now, furnished by none other than the Macy's Parade Wiki. This time. So Prince Dauntless is riding on a giant thrown balloonicle, which can move on its own. As we've seen with the other balloonicles, this is our biggest balloonicle we've seen so far in the parade. And as for the giant Prince Dauntless Princess Winifred balloon, she's riding on her giant bed, attached to giant straws, flying high in the sky near some of her other balloon friends. Now, there she goes. Now, here comes the Winter Wonderland float. Yep, it's here. A 3-in-1 float featuring snowmen, Charlie Brown and Snoopy skating on a icy lake, and an awesome post box. Perfect to deliver your letters to Santa. Yep, here we are. And now, here he comes. The best beagle in town, Snoopy! He's back. After being replaced with Charlie Brown for a little while, our favourite beagle has returned as ice skating Snoopy once again, furnished by Peanuts Worldwide. Here, he's skating in the air with his best pal, Woodstock. And he's certainly a good sight indeed. Yeah. And if you can see, his other pals are on the loose, and as well as Charlie Brown and Snoopy characters on below. This is certainly a good time to, well, enjoy Christmas indeed. Anyways, here's our next float. And that is a awesome one. It's Santa's Grotto with, what was that? Santa Claus? Santa's already here in the parade? Wow. He's already asking children what they want for Christmas. Oh wow, the parade's already over. Ah, it's good. Thank you very much for what? Nah, that's not Santa. It's just an old Lego Santa. Oh, 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 ho, 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 ho. Oh. And following along that is another Christmassy float, Snuggle, furnished by Hankel Consumer Goods, based on the character from the Snuggle fabric softener thingies. He's sitting in a Christmas stocking waiting for Santa, who's funnily enough behind him. And he shines and glimmers in the sky indeed. Waving to the crowd too, because that's what teddy bears love to do. I bet you'd love to have a teddy bear in your own Christmas stocking. Well, certainly Snuggle would agree. And now here comes something pretty amazing. It's the Christmas market float, featuring some people who just want to grab some last minute refreshments for the Christmas holidays. And this time it's a brand new version. All sorts of other things happening as well. Just look at it all. It looks marvellous. But high up in the sky is our largest balloon ever, a whopping 17 inches tall. And that is Santa Claus himself, furnished by IME. Yep, you guessed it. Santa the balloon is finally here for the second time now. Wearing blue gloves, he's got a giant beard, and on the back of him he's got a giant sack on him. Yep, you've guessed it. Says Merry Christmas from IME on the Funnily enough, it's connected to the market float. So here it goes. Yeah. Thank you very much, Santa. Now here comes our last main float before Santa, the real Santa himself, and that is our toy workshop float, where all these awesome toys are being produced for kids and adults. And all the elves are working very hard to make them too. Even Rudolph's working on it as well. Now here comes the Goofy Gnome, flying high in the sky, feeling a bit goofy because look who's finally arrived, and I'm sitting on board as well. Yep, Santa Claus. Oh, 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 ho, 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 ho. Yep, he's finally ended the parade once again with a giant Christmas tree of beauty. And here I am holding a giant green apple, and all I can say is this is the end of the parade, and it's the end for a little while. Goodbye, everyone. And Santa needs to be heading off to deliver all these toys to all of you. So yeah, as I said, goodbye, everybody. Thank you for watching.